You know, I mean, again, everything's just there for us. Magically, everything's going to work. All the problems are going to be done. No one's going to have a job, apparently.
Well, I'll guarantee you this. You go down to New York, and you hang around outside the Theosophic Society offices, and you go to their meetings, and we need our people to do this. Join them if you have to. And we're going to probably see some people we've heard from before, but under other names. Okay? And Peter Joseph needs to tell us his real name. He needs to tell us his funding. Because you know, and again, folks, I'm not saying we control this movement or we say what is going on. I try to be open to everybody. This is the opposite. I'm saying grow it, expand it, have free discussions and thought. I'm being told I'm backwards and bad, that I can't even question this or I'm bad. Again, religion doesn't exist. We're all kooks. Spirituality doesn't exist. But then they're all into spirituality, but it's only their spirituality. That's exactly what we get with Albert Pike and the rest of them. Burma, stay there. I've been ranting. I'm going to let you say whatever you want when we get back on any subject pertaining to this. I just, you know, I let things creep up next to me. I'm so busy. I'm not omnipresent, as some people seem to think. I'm just a regular guy, and I've been ignoring this, not looking at it. And I opened the door up and looked at it, and I literally almost vomited the stench of New World Order that came flooding out. And my God, to realize how many people they've completely fooled. All right, we're going to get into taking over our local counties and cities the legal, lawful way, electing good sheriffs. We're also getting into the economy, all the news, huge things happening. Finishing up with Jason Burmis, we're going to have G. Edward Griffin with us for this segment and the next. Briefly, it's like a Jedi mind trick. It's like a marketing trick, a magician trick. You've got these theosophic UN world government people, and then they pose as if they're anti-New World Order. And then they openly push all these religious statements about the God consciousness, the God spirit in us, but then say all the religions are bad. That's what Albert Pike said they would do. And that's what blows me away, is I've ignored this long and didn't really look into it, and I scratched the surface, and it was unbelievable. I mean, having the Christ, according to them, of the Theosophic Society, who they took around the world with them, this Jiddu Krishnamurti, in the film. I mean, this is off the charts. I want to bring G. Edward Griffin on and keep Burmis on to comment. G. Edward Griffin, I mean, I know you're looking at this from a monetary angle, and you know, with the silliness of it, and basically how it's a repeat of Karl Marx and withering away of the state. But I did some more research, and I mean, this thing is total UN. G. Edward Griffin?
Yes. Am I on the air now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, hello, Alex. How are you? Yes, I did look at this, not from the theological perspective, because I felt that there were other people who were far more qualified than I to analyze it from that direction. And yes, I was looking at it from the point of view in which they were presenting the Federal Reserve System and attacking the Federal Reserve System, and particularly from the point of view of what they proposed as a solution to our problems. And I found that in this film, which was called ZeitGeist Addendum, there was a lot that was very good in the beginning, especially. A lot of critique of the Federal Reserve System. And I thought, boy, these guys are doing a good job. And then it began to fall apart. And they came into some silly stuff about the Fed never is able to create enough money to pay for the interest, and a few other myths like that are widespread. Well, I could even forgive that because, you know, it doesn't make an awful lot of difference in the final analysis whether you believe that or not. But then they started getting into this business about, well, how are we going to solve all of this problem? And lo and behold, they had taken Marx and polished him up, taken out the word Marxism and communism, but they kept all of the essential concepts of perfecting mankind, getting rid of his greed, supposedly. They said that the whole problem of society was the profit motive and the free enterprise system, and those had
they implied the Federal Reserve is a free market thing, not a parasitic, rigged monopoly, with the Federal Reserve funding the UN and theocracy and centralization of power and the new man.
Well, yes, that's it, of course. It's one of the greatest myths of the modern age that we live in a free enterprise capitalist system. That was gone decades ago, and but yet it still lives on in name. And so all of the Marxists and neo-Marxists love to say, see what's happening today? That's a result of capitalism. We must replace capitalism with socialism or some other form of collectivism. And so they created a boogeyman that doesn't even exist. And people fall for it. It's real easy to fall for it because, I was told when I was a kid that we lived in a free enterprise system. That probably was true when I was a kid, but it's not true anymore. The problems we have today are not a result of free enterprise, competitive capitalism, as a result of collectivism, socialism.
All right, stay there. We're going to break for 1 minute and come back with 5 more minutes with G. Edward Griffin and get Jason Burmis' comment on this. But ZeitGeist Addendum, a critical review. We have a link to it up on Infowars.com by G. Edward Griffin. And what really concerns me is I mildly criticized it without even really doing super deep research, just on the basics, and a cult-like attack of, I'm just an idiot Christian, I can't even comment on it, there's no such thing as religion, when I wasn't even bringing religion up. So I said, I better look at the religious angle, and it turns out this is total New World Order religion.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Look, the hottest thing in the world right now is the alternative media and the fight against the New World Order. It's growing exponentially. And the New World Order, through its minions, through its dupes, through its useful idiots, are going to try to make a move into the movement. And there's a unified thing. People attacking this show, it turns out, are occultist or are friendly towards it. And, this is a news program. I'm covering news and information. And so they just bring it up like, oh, he's a Christian, it's all bull. By the way, we have the answer. It's the withering away of the state, eradicating the class system, on and on and on. And then yesterday I said, well, what will happen if somebody doesn't want to go along with this system? And the creator of ZeitGeist Addendum said, well, you'll have to be conditioned. You'll have to be re-educated. Folks, for those that know history and study, like myself and Mr. Griffin and others, we've seen all this a million times. This is repackaged. And in closing, I want to bring up Burmis for any comments he's got. But, G. Edward Griffin, I want to have you back on later to not just get into this, but how the whole liberty movement itself, I'm sure you've noticed it everywhere, has these people coming into it and saying, well, the New World Order isn't the problem. We need a good New World Order of the people, denying how society operates. G. Edward Griffin.
Yes, we are right on target, I think, Alex. That's one of the most brilliant qualities of these New World Order people is that they understand human nature, and they know that there's going to be a tremendous backlash against what they're trying to do. So they never just wait for that to happen. They send their people into the field and say, look, if there's going to be a backlash, let's lead it ourselves, or let's be influential in it so that we can control it and make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. This has happened over and over again throughout history, and you can see it coming up now, of course. I think you're absolutely right in your observation of that.
Well, there's no doubt that this, you've seen it. This is grade A, recycled, Fabian socialist, H.G. Wells. It's word for word what we have seen from the Theosophic Society and others. And God help us, because this is widespread right now, ladies and gentlemen. Alice Bailey, the externalization of the hierarchy. Let's bring in Jason Burmis briefly to finish up on more comments you've got, Jason.
Somebody offers global governance or a New World Order type scenario, no matter how utopic it may sound, for any problem, whether it be the Federal Reserve or 9/11, such as an international tribunal and the end of America, you have to be very suspect of that person off the get-go, and you have to be very critical of their thinking, because what these people want at the top is more consolidation of power. It's about power.
They always consolidate for the greater good and claim it's going to be utopia. We've heard this over and over again. All these young people don't know about the history, and they better look into it. Again, how can you have the leader, the Christ of the UN Theosophic Society, the official UN religion, in the film, and then they tell us, oh, you can't even argue about political systems. You're the old order. You're Christians, and we're not even bringing Christianity up. I mean, that is always a red flag. Is that not, G. Edward Griffin?
Yes, it is. Well, it's not just Christianity. Any organized religious or powerful religious group is anathema to the New World Order people, because they're collectivists and they want complete loyalty and dependence upon the state. The state is the new religion. And,
which is what they say, the new scientific state, where they're going to scientifically control us, and they claim the New World Order currently isn't doing that. Of course they're setting up a scientific dictatorship.
Yeah, and then that's always been the goal of collectivism. And they like to use the word science because that sounds so advanced, so modern, so intelligent, But actually there's no science to it at all unless it's the science of human engineering, thought control. That's where the science comes in.
And then they have the nerve to claim that's not a centralized system. Centralization is the problem. True diversity is the answer.